Do you actually know what a credit card is and how it really works? Imagine your bank approves you for your very first credit card tomorrow. Would you know how to use it the right way? Before you apply for your first credit card, there are a few important things you need to understand. Because one simple mistake could lead to expensive interest charges, hurt your credit score, and even take months to recover from. But don't worry. In today's video, I'll explain everything you need to know about credit cards in simple, beginner-friendly language, so you can use your first credit card with confidence and avoid costly mistakes from day one. Let's get started. First of all, what exactly is a credit card? Many people think a credit card is simply free money provided by the bank. But that's not true. A credit card is actually a short-term loan. When you use your credit card to buy something, you're not spending your own money. You're temporarily borrowing money from your credit card company or bank. Later, you'll need to pay that money back. If you repay the full amount on time, you can usually avoid paying any interest. But if you don't, the bank may start charging interest on the remaining balance, and that's where many beginners make their first expensive mistake. Now, here's something important that every beginner should understand. A credit card is very different from a debit card. With a debit card, the money comes directly from your own bank account. If you have $500 in your account, you can only spend up to that amount. But with a credit card, the bank gives you a credit limit. For example, if your credit limit is $3,000, you can make purchases up to that amount, even if you don't currently have $3,000 in your bank account. Of course, you'll still need to pay it back later. That's why it's called credit. The bank is trusting you to borrow money and repay it responsibly. The better you manage that responsibility, the more likely you are to build a strong credit history. And a strong credit history can help you qualify for better loans, lower interest rates, and even make it easier to rent an apartment in many countries. That's why understanding how a credit card works isn't just about avoiding debt. It's about building a healthier financial future. Now that you know what a credit card really is, let's answer another important question. Why do banks even offer credit cards in the first place? Now let's answer another important question. Why do banks offer credit cards in the first place? The answer is actually very simple. Banks make money when people borrow money responsibly. Some people pay interest. Some people pay annual fees. And every time you use your credit card, the merchant usually pays a small processing fee to the card, network, and the card issuer. That's why banks are happy to offer credit cards. But here's the good news. You don't have to become one of the people paying expensive interest. If you understand how a credit card works, you can enjoy many of its benefits while avoiding most of its costs. Now let's talk about something every beginner must understand. How does a credit card actually work? Every month, your credit card follows something called a billing cycle. Think of it as a monthly record of everything you buy using your credit card. At the end of the billing cycle, your bank creates a statement. This statement shows how much you've spent during that period. Then the bank gives you a payment due date. If you pay your full statement balance before that due date, you can usually avoid paying any interest on those purchases. This interest-free period is known as the grace period. It's one of the biggest advantages of using a credit card correctly. But if you only pay the minimum amount or miss the payment deadline, interest may begin to accumulate on your remaining balance. And that's exactly where many people start getting into debt. This is why experienced credit card users don't focus on making the minimum payment. They focus on paying the full statement balance every month. Now here's another question many beginners ask. Should everyone have a credit card? The honest answer is, not necessarily. A credit card is an excellent financial tool for people who are disciplined with money. If you usually pay your bills on time, follow a monthly budget, and avoid impulse spending, a credit card can help you build a strong credit score and even earn valuable rewards. But if you often overspend, struggle to manage your monthly expenses, or find it difficult to control impulse purchases, it may be better to improve your money habits first before applying for a credit card. Remember, a credit card doesn't create good or bad financial habits. It simply magnifies the habits you already have. That's why learning to manage your money is always more important than simply owning a credit card. Now that you understand how credit cards work, let's finish by talking about the biggest benefits, the biggest risks, and the smart habits every beginner should follow before using their first credit card. Now let's finish by talking about the biggest benefits, the biggest risks, and the smart habits every beginner should follow before using their first credit card. Let's start with the benefits. When used responsibly, a credit card can become one of the most useful financial tools you'll ever own. First, it can help you build a strong credit history. Every on-time payment shows lenders that you're financially responsible. Over time, this can improve your credit score and make it easier to qualify for better loans, lower interest rates, and even rental applications. Second, many credit cards offer rewards. Depending on your card, you may earn cash back, travel points, airline miles, or other valuable benefits simply by making purchases you were already planning to make. Third, credit cards often provide better security than cash or even debit cards. If your card is lost or stolen, you can usually report the unauthorized transactions, and many card issuers offer fraud protection. Now let's talk about the risks. The biggest mistake beginners make is believing that their credit limit is extra money. It's not. It's borrowed money, and every dollar you borrow must eventually be paid back. Another common mistake is making only the minimum payment every month. While this keeps your account open, it can also lead to expensive interest charges that continue growing over time. That's why responsible credit card users always have a plan before they spend. Before you swipe your card, ask yourself one simple question. If my credit card bill arrived tomorrow, could I pay it in full? If the answer is yes, you're probably using your credit card responsibly. If the answer is no, it may be better to wait before making that purchase. Always remember, a credit card should make your financial life easier, not more stressful. Let's quickly recap everything we've learned today. A credit card is not free money. It's a short-term loan that must be used responsibly. Understand your credit limit. Learn your billing cycle. Know your payment due date. Pay your full statement balance whenever possible. And never spend more than you can comfortably repay. If you follow these simple habits from the very beginning, you'll avoid many of the mistakes that trap millions of people into unnecessary debt. The goal isn't just to own a credit card. The goal is to know how to use it wisely. Financial success doesn't happen because someone earns the highest income. It happens because they make smart financial decisions consistently. And learning how to use a credit card correctly is one of those decisions. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more simple and practical personal finance videos. Thank you so much for watching this video. So we'll see you again in the next video.